I want to follow up on the GAO, which determined that agency leverage lending guidance is a rule under the Congressional Review Act and is therefore ineffective because it was never submitted to Congress. As I pointed out in the past, the same would presumably be true for other agency guidance. I've heard reports from banks that many of them have outstanding matters requiring attention, or MRAs, based on such guidance, and that they are still being told either by examiners or the compliance departments to treat guidance as binding regulations. So although no one seems to be disputing GAO's conclusion, the word does not appear to be getting out. Would you agree that rules are rules and guidance is guidance and guidance is not binding?
Yes, Mr. Luetkemeyer, I would agree absolutely with that. And I think in the case of the leveraged lending guidance, we do accept and understand that that's non-binding guidance. And in fact, since the GAO ruling, we've made it a point to go out and make sure that that message is getting out to supervisors of banks. And we're also thinking of, we're in discussions and thinking about other ways we can underscore that, perhaps putting it out for further comment.
Well, I just left another meeting before I got here of a group of bankers from one of the states around the country, and we were discussing issues similar to this with regards to the culture within agencies and the ability of change to be taking place. Even though we change the head of the agency, sometimes the message doesn't get all the way to the bottom. And when I made that comment, I saw a lot of heads nodding in the audience. You know, there's concern that while the leadership has changed, good intentions may be there, that, again, this needs to filter down all the way through the entire agency, and an understanding needs to take place by everybody that this is a new way of doing business, that guidance is guidance, rules are rules, and there's a big difference between how they're adjudicated and administered and enforced by the body itself. So sure appreciate you taking that into consideration.
It's an important point, and it's a feature of our distributed Federal Reserve System, of which I'm a big supporter of the structure of our system. And I think we know how to manage that problem, and I think we actually do a pretty good job at it, and we're going to continue to try to do the best job we can. We are the heads of supervision at all the reserve banks are in close and constant conversation and discussion with Vice Chair Quarles and others at the board, and I do think I don't sense any reluctance to engage in those discussions, and I think it's on us to communicate well and successfully, and we'll try to do that.
Well, I look forward to working with you on that, because I told the bankers when I left them, as you see a problem, let me know, because I've got a chance to talk to Mr. Powell myself here this morning, so we'll carry the message. Thank you for that. With regards to data security and cybersecurity, this is an issue that we're working on right now. My subcommittee has got a bill that we're putting together. Data security, cybersecurity threats have the potential to wreck our economy, to wreak havoc with it. We subject financial companies to an absurd maze of cybersecurity regulations. The Federal Reserve is one of the many entities that examines for cybersecurity. There is zero harmonization between the agencies. The result is that financial firms spend thousands of hours complying with regulations rather than actually protecting their systems and their customers. Do you see this as a problem?
Well, I do. I think cybersecurity overall is one of the really significant threats, and we can never feel like we've done enough to deal with it. We try to harmonize through the FIFIAC process our supervisory guidance on what we expect from firms on cybersecurity issues and data safety and that kind of thing. I'm sure we can do a better job, and we're committed to trying.
Well, I know that's an issue that the financial institutions in particular are sort of right in the crosshairs of this because of the amount of personal data that they hold and the risk that's there. They're an easy target. So we want to make sure that we work on that issue and work with you. You said in a position where you can harmonize those rules and regulations, I think, pretty easily with the different discussions, the different groups of regulatory agencies that actually meet on a regular basis discussing things. Is this ever discussed at all in your meetings with the Fed, the Treasury, FDIC, Comptroller, FCFPB, any of those meetings? Is this ever discussed at length?
Yes, it is. In fact, there's a group chaired by by Treasury which focuses on cybersecurity issues. Which the chair, I haven't attended one of those yet, but as chair, I will attend those meetings. It's certainly a very big focus for Treasury and for us.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.